Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Saladino. There's another aspect to the whole Peter Parker as Spider-Man, Miles Morales is Miles Morales debate. Debate's in air quotes because it's one of those things that it's only a thing because the powers that be at Marvel have allowed this farce to go on for so long. So in the comments of one of my latest videos, I was going back and forth with a Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo fan who was doing this thing that a lot of the game's fans have been doing since the news of Insomniac confirmed that Miles is the main Spider-Man of their, Insomniac universe. They keep doing this thing where they're interpreting the backlash to this news as people not understanding that Peter hasn't retired, that he's just taking a break. And they do this thing where they bring up the times in the comic when Spider-Man, he's took a break or he tried to give up, and they're ignoring the point of the, backlash as it is. And it's not even an angry backlash. It's people saying, see, I told you. If you play Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo, it's clear that they favor Miles over Peter, that they do everything they can to put Peter down to make Miles look better. So the point isn't whether or not Peter Parker is going to retire or if it's wrong for him to take a break, because that's not really in his character or personality, especially as a veteran Spider-Man or whatever. As a veteran, forget a veteran Spider-Man, as a veteran. It's clear Insomniac considers Miles Morales Spider-Man. They don't consider Peter Parker Spider-Man. Someone else in the comments noted that the only reason why they didn't just kill Peter off is because they probably wanted to avoid the Last of Us Part 2 Joel controversy. And that makes sense. I suggested that if you want to put Miles over as Spider-Man, just get rid of Peter completely. Just kill him off. Just commit to the bit. It's like your boy Zach would say, commit to the bit, kill him off, and just make Miles the center of your universe. So you don't have to keep dumping on Peter, and you don't have two idiots running around calling themselves Spider-Man, which just doesn't make sense. It sticks out like a sore thumb. I wouldn't be surprised if the people on Twitter and in my comments who keep telling me and everyone else that Peter is just taking a break, and don't worry, he'll definitely be back in the third game. I wouldn't be surprised if these weren't just bots and interns trying to shore up the fan base, because they know Miles by himself won't sell like Peter Parker. They just keep Peter around. I guess they figure, if they just keep Peter around, all they have to do is give you a little bit of Peter gameplay, and that'll be enough, and they'll make Miles the main focus of the games. And another thing I'm thinking that'll probably happen in 3 is that Green Goblin and Doc Ock are going to team up, kidnap Peter and MJ, and it's going to be up to Miles and Silk to save them. It would be insane for Insomniac to do that, to have Miles and Silk be the ones to fight Doc Ock and Green Goblin. These are two of Peter's main arch rivals. His two of his best rogues gallery. And Spider-Man probably has the best rogues gallery, of all superheroes, certainly in Marvel. Even though it would be insane, Insomniac, they don't respect Peter's history. They don't respect the lore. They only use it to give stuff to, Miles. I keep saying this thing about how Insomniac is full of a bunch of women. And the point is, these women don't like superheroes. Women typically don't care about this stuff. The ones that do don't come into it demanding that things be made for them. It's like they're visiting, they're tourists. And I don't mean tourists in an insulting way. I just mean that they're visiting something that's not typically, aimed at them or for them. So they appreciate that it's something different to be a part of. Whereas the women who are writing things like Marvel's Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo, or, they did the same thing in Gotham Knights. There's a bunch of women who worked on Gotham Knights. And they shouldn't be writing Batman stories. Not really. They don't care about Batman. They don't get what it means to be a man who has to deal with certain things, because a lot of the stuff is just toxic masculinity to them. If he's stoic, if he's driven to his mission to the detriment of his family around him, that's not something a woman naturally is going to find interesting or appealing, or something that they're not going to put down as silly. And you see it when you look at Gotham Knights. You have an ugly Harley Quinn, and it's not about Harley Quinn being, Joker's gun moll, his sexy babe. It's literally about how it's great that Harley Quinn has now taken she's doing her own thing, right? She looks hideous now, and she's blowing up, school buses full of children, but at least she's not doing it under the thumb of that toxic white male, the Joker. And, they have the gay pride flag in the belfry, because, it's definitely canon to the women of the Gotham Knights that Tim Drake is gay. Then they have that really, truly insane line from Babs, Batgirl, to Nightwing, where she's telling him, don't think I didn't ever catch you taking a peek at your ass in the mirror or in your reflection or something like that, which is only something that a woman would say. Men don't think like that. Men don't check out their ass as they're going by and see their reflection and go, ooh, let me see how my ass looks to this. Ooh, girl, that's what I'm talking about. It's Spider-Man or whatever. But no, guys don't do that. Even if they're checking out their gains, it's not like, well, let me see how my ass looks. And my glutes really looking great. Especially Nightwing. Nightwing doesn't train because he wants to, check out how good he looks. He wants to be in tip-top physical shape to fight bad guys. But, these women should be writing CW shows. And CW shouldn't even be making superhero shows, but they should be doing young adult or silly soap operas and stuff like that. Actually, I'm really surprised they gave Babs all that cake in the game. I mean, my brother keeps saying, and I said this about some of the things like the upskirt moment in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It's probably the devs themselves sort of quietly rebelling. So they're like, okay, we've got to create all these hideous, ugly girl boss thugs. Let's at least give Babs, booty. And, she's got a great ass on that game. But anyway, so my point is, you can tell women are writing Spider-Man because of their complete disregard of Peter and his legacy. Peter is just a millstone around their neck, and they can't wait to get rid of him. Gabi will probably kill MJ in 3, and then Peter Parker will quit for good. Or Miles will save MJ at the last second, and Peter will quit because he and MJ will have a baby, and he'll need to take care of the kid, and he'll be like, me being Spider-Man almost jeopardized my wife and future child, whatever, right? And it'll be one of those things where he'll say, just like he said at the end of 2, if you really need me, I'll be around. But, why does the city need me when they have you? So, all right. So the other part of the Miles Morales' Spider-Man 2 defense is how they keep saying Miles has earned becoming Spider-Man. But the thing is, Miles can't earn becoming Spider-Man. This isn't a Yang-Ye situation where he earned becoming Kiryu for Yakuza.
We'll keep our heads high, our fists raised till we die. We're living by our own judgment.
There isn't an SAT out there, a Spider-Man aptitude test that, anyone can just train and study for. And then once you pass, you just be considered a Spider-Man, right? It's not like the Green Lantern Corps, where as long as you have the pure heart and the will, the ring will choose you. And anybody can ostensibly be a Green Lantern. Normies are weird. They don't understand how superheroes work and how they make sense within their respective universes or, multiverses. And it's one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos, because I think it's important to push back against this lame misunderstanding of superheroes and superhero logic. There are things in the superhero sort of community, comic book community, we don't agree on. Things like, can Thor beat Hulk? Or is Batman, even though Batman has no powers, how come he's so powerful? How come he can beat Superman? How come he, pretty much can beat anybody? It's this, there's this comic book logic that, and it doesn't have to make sense. It's just comic book superhero logic. Batman, okay, it's like this. Cyclops is the Batman of the X-Men. Captain America is the Batman of the Marvel Universe. And Batman is Batman, right? It's not impossible. It's Batman. Even comic book fans will disagree on this. But at least it's all based on knowledge of comic books, just what you like about it, what you get out of it, how you interpret things. But this stuff with these normies who keep insisting that Miles Morales is Spider-Man or has earned Spider-Man or can become Spider-Man, this is just people who are protecting an agenda where it's just they decided they wanted to make Barack Obama a superhero. So they created Miles Morales to be a Spider-Man. They didn't even have the respect for black people or Latino people to make an original hero and really work and put the effort in to put him over. They just said, the way black people and Latino people and people of color see superheroes is they can't identify with them if they're not the same race. So we have to take Spider-Man, who everybody knows, and just say, hey, there's a black one too. Here you go. Play with this one, right? If you're a Miles Morales fan, if you're really a fan, how can you justify Miles being called Spider-Man and accepting that as some kind of bold, progressive statement when everything about Miles has been stolen from Peter Parker? Spider-Man, the real Spider-Man. It's weird to even say the real Spider-Man because there's only Peter Parker's Spider-Man. I mean, you could do Spider-Man 2099 because he's, in the future, Spider-Man's dead. This is somebody who said, I look up to Spider-Man, I'm going to become Spider-Man too, that kind of thing. But Miles, within the 616 at the same time as Peter Parker, how do you accept that when everything he has is stolen from Peter? If you're a black fan, especially of Miles Morales doesn't make me feel black. I feel nothing when I think of Miles Morales. When I think of Blade, I get annoyed that they've done the brother dirty, right? When I think of Luke Cage, I think of Power Man, and I get annoyed that they made him mayor of New York, which is the last thing Luke Cage would ever want to be. It's clearly one of these sops that SJWs have done, right? They've made the black man some corny-ass mayor instead of having him go around being a trash-talking badass. They've gentrified Luke Cage. Luke Cage was blacker when he had the tiara and blouse on, and he hasn't been that for probably a decade now. Your boy Zach does that, makes that reference, Gordon Goodbrother. That's what Luke Cage is now. That's what a lot of these black dudes are. Miles is definitely like that. Kamala Khan is always talking trash to Miles and pushing him around. If you're a Miles fan, why would you want this little twerp to have Peter's sloppy seconds? Like, this dude literally has Gwen. He's like, Peter had that. Now go ahead, Miles, you can have some of that too now. Yeah, it ain't no fun if my homies can't have none. What is that? He has this goofy, urbanized version of the costume, and then now they give him silk. I was going to make a BBC Asian booty joke, but whatever. If you're a Miles fan and you like him because he's black and Latino, and for some reason that means something to you, why wouldn't you demand he get his own name, his own storylines, his own enemies? Why is it good enough for you to accept the by Odin's Fade version of Spider-Man? You all saw how stupid it was to make Miles Thor, even though black Vikings are all the rage now, right? Why are y'all also quick to defend black Spider-Man? They just put some kicks on the Spider-Man costume. They put a hoodie on the costume. They make it hip and make it lame. You can't manufacture cool, and they don't make Miles cool himself. They just have him act like Peter, except he wears space high jumpers or whatever, these pro kids. I don't think this is acceptable. Actually, this is not acceptable. I don't care how much you buy the narrative that Miles is a POC hero, a BIPOC hero for young black or Latino kids to see themselves in. Miles, a black character, lacks everything that black people have been able to do for the culture over the years. Black people are supposed to be the trendsetters. They're the trendsetters, right? Not the fake, lame copycats that take everything from a white character and just repackage it as their own. Miles can't earn being Spider-Man because Spider-Man is not something you can earn. It's not something anyone can earn. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. If Miles Morales was really his own man, doing his own thing, then for the culture, for people to see themselves in, he needs to be a man. Get his own name, right? And stop stunting. Miles Morales didn't earn being Spider-Man. Miles Morales stole being Spider-Man. Which, I find hilarious, considering how he's supposed to represent black and brown people. That shows you what they really think about us.